Now I want you to be able to reach me whenever you want. My number at Current Communications Incorporated is 708-318-0814. My number in the car is 708-641-1500. And if you want to reach me here at WGN, call 312-222-4782. Now, you can also fax me information at WGN or Current Communications, and if you can't reach me then, at all three of those numbers, they have separate voicemail answering systems. Finally, you can page me on my beeper, or maybe you'd just find it easier to write me a letter. You know, I've come to the realization that not only do I have too many phone numbers, but my business card isn't big enough to hold them all. Do you have the same problem? So many places for people to reach you, and yet they never do? How many calls don't get to you? How much of your day is spent returning calls and playing telephone tag? What if I offered you a way to consolidate all your phone numbers into one extremely powerful telephone number that ties you into one extremely powerful telephone system that will allow communications like never before? Imagine having an incredibly powerful phone system available to you wherever you travel. Well, the system is here, and it's called Telefinity. In 4 years of doing Techno-Gadgets, we've never seen a telephone system with this kind of power. Here's Telefinity's Ray Shepard.
Telefinity is a communication system that allows people and information to come together more often and easier. And essentially what Telefinity is that subscribers are issued a phone number, and it's a single number that a subscriber can use for all their incoming and outgoing calls. And it's a phone number that anyone can use to simply pick up any telephone anywhere, make a call, and complete it 100%, complete the communication 100% of the time, regardless of who they call.
You make a lot of phone calls every day, and a lot of people call you. But you might be surprised at how unproductive many of those calls are.
Ed, did you know that there are over 550 billion calls made annually in the United States, over 500 billion calls annually each year, and that 40% of them have been incomplete? And if you take a look at what that 40%, 220 billion calls annually represents in wasted calls and labor, at $12 an hour worker and 1 minute phone calls, it equates to $100 billion wasted annually in the United States in calls and labor.
Imagine having just one phone number on your business card and having that number follow you wherever you travel. But it's not just a number, it's a system. Wherever you are, you have full access to all the Telefinity features. Features like Follow Me, voice messaging, fax forwarding, phone book, dial by name, reminders, conference calling, call screening, message distribution list, and more. The power of Telefinity is hard to imagine, but it can link together all the people in your company, even though they may be thousands of miles apart.
You receive a phone number, and this phone number is used for all important business and personal communications. You may want to exclude all other phone numbers and just put the Telefinity number on your card. But with Telefinity, you use it to receive calls, you use it to make calls, and the only phone number you need to know is yours. And the features of Telefinity, Follow Me, abbreviated dialing, and other features travel with you at every phone everywhere.
Telefinity combines telephone services you may already use with all kinds of powerful new services.
Telefinity, you don't pay any more to use the service. It simply replaces the cost that you're already incurring today. And there is absolutely no surcharges or a premium cost to use our service, unlike most of the other calling card capabilities of other services.
Here's an example of how Ray Shepard uses Telefinity.
On my business card, I have one number. I consider all communications important to me, and I want to make sure I'm able to handle it. And I will program the system to ring at whatever location I'm at, evenings, after hours, or weekends. And there are times when I'll even forward my number to a restaurant I'm at. There are times in everybody's day when you know when a call is coming in, you just don't want to miss it. And I capture all my calls all the time, 100% of the time, by making myself available for this.
So Telefinity can get all your calls to you wherever you are. Well, what about when you don't want to be bothered?
One of the unique aspects of the product is that you control when and how calls are forwarded to you. So you can screen people out that you don't want to talk to, or maybe you need to be unavailable. You're in a meeting. You can't be disturbed, and that's the beauty of the product, is that you can have the system turned off and the voicemail picks up, records information. If I've got a alphanumeric pager on, I don't currently carry one, but if I wanted to, I could have an alphanumeric display the names, numbers of the people that left messages for me without even interrupting the meeting in the vibrate mode on my pager.
Here's another neat feature. Let's say I have my Telefinity number follow me to my home, but when you call me, I happen to be down the block. My wife answers your call and then transfers you to my voicemail simply by hanging up the phone. That's it. You stay on the line and talk to my voicemail. To access the Telefinity system, you just dial your own Telefinity number. Now you can listen to messages, send messages, make calls in any order without ever hanging up. Ray Shepard.
In a 5 or 6 minute period, I can do as many as 10 or 12 transactions. I had someone ask me the other day, I called in, I listened to a message, I got halfway through it, I decided that I needed to send that to my sales manager. I sent it to my sales manager with his comments. As soon as I sent it off, the system continued on with the balance of the message. I figured accounts payable should get a copy of this, so I transferred a copy of that message while I'm still listening to it to accounts payable, and then replied back to the party that left me the message.
Now keep in mind that Ray paused in the middle of listening to messages to take action. The efficiency of all this amazed his friend.
Mine who was observing me using the service noticed that I had done about 10 or 12 things. And he asked me, how much did that cost you, Ray? And since I'm using it here from the local office, I said, well, that cost me about $1 for that. And he says, but you did about 10 things. So in effect, it cost about 10 cents a communication. And you did it in 5 minutes. He said, you did more in 5 minutes than what I did in the last 4 hours.
It's efficient. Returning calls to other Telefinity users requires just pushing one button on your touch-tone phone. A new Telefinity user is John Roth. He's amazed at the power of this unique telephone system.
I've been using the Telefinity number for the last 4 weeks, and I found some unique ways to use it. I can leave a message late at night for somebody I don't want to disturb. If I wake up in the middle of the night and 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I say I should have told somebody about the project that we're working on, I'll send them a voice message, and I won't bother them. Then when they go into their Telefinity, they'll have this voice message. I can make numerous telephone calls at the touch of the star key by, hitting the call button, and I can call 4 or 5 people without hanging up the telephone. I can send messages to people that I want to send messages to. I can call them up on the phone book, and it cuts down the dialing time, especially if I'm at a coin phone someplace in the city where I want to get in and get out of there sometimes. I can, as I'm getting a message, I can pause that message, send a reply to that message, and go on and do numerous amounts of communications in a 4 or 5 minute telephone call. With the 800 feature, I don't need a quarter when I'm out. I can call my 800 number, get into the system, and be able to do all this transaction. I don't have to worry about having a quarter.
Remember how you used to do all that?
Well, what I used to do was have to get out my credit card calling card and dial 15 or 18 different numbers to get through, and if it was busy or I misdialed, I'd have a problem. And at the touch of one key, I can start over in Telefinity, which is really a blessing. Sometimes I won't have the number. It's too hard to get to, or I left it in the car when I walked to the payphone, and I can just dial by name right out of my phone book.
Now, how about if I gave you $100 and your old phone number back?
No way. No way. It's funny, even after 4 weeks, you're really hooked on it. You're very hooked on it because it makes communication so easy and so efficient that you really couldn't go back to the old way.
Are you more hooked than you thought you'd be?
Oh, absolutely.
It may be difficult for you to realize just how much Telefinity can do for you because it is so powerful, but here's a number you can call to get all the information you need about Telefinity. 1-800-864-2323. That's Telefinity at 1-800-864-2323. 1-800-864-2323. We'll introduce you to digital cellular as
Techno Gadgets
continues on American Airlines.